All right, sixth grade pre-algebra class. Here is your lesson on 7.1, ratios and rates. We're going to start by introducing a concept called ratios. A ratio is going to be a comparison of two numbers using division. So, ratio. Comparison of two numbers using division. So for example, if we were to do this using letters to start out with, we would say A over B is a ratio. We're comparing those two numbers by dividing A by B. There's another way to write this. We can write A colon B like this, or the last way we can write it is using an English word to write A to B, just like this. These are the three ways that we can write a ratio. Now, the most useful way that we're going to find is this way right here, since it is actually showing the division bar, which is what we're going to want to use in math. Now, if two ratios are equal to each other, then they are called equivalent ratios. And an example of an equivalent ratio would be 1 over 2, 2 over 4, 4 over 8, 8 over 16. All these are equivalent ratios because if we were to actually divide all these out, 1 divided by 2 is 0.5. 2 divided by 4 is 0.5. 4 divided by 8 is 0.5. And 8 divided by 16 is 0.5. These are all considered equivalent ratios. So let's take a look at example 1 on page 344. All right, on example 1, we are given the following information. A ski resort has 15 easy, 25 intermediate, 7 difficult, and 11 expert trails to ski on. And we're going to write a ratio of the intermediate trails to the easy trails in 3 different ways. So we're going to be using intermediate compared to easy right here. So that would be 25 to 15, 25 to 15, and 25 over 15 is the 3 ways that we can write this. Now, notice that we could probably reduce this. They both have a factor of 5 in them. Let's factor out the 5. 25 over 15 is the same thing as 5 over 3, correct? That would be an equivalent ratio. It is equal to it. So, we can actually rewrite these up here as well. 5 colon 3, 5 to 3, and then 5 divided by 3. So here is going to be our answer on this one. Let's go ahead and turn the page over. A rate is the next word that we want to look at. A rate. And a rate is defined as a ratio of two quantities that have different units. And so a rate that we're going to think of all the time is miles per hour. Miles per hour. Miles, as we all know, is measuring distance. Hour is measuring time, so it's considered a rate. It's comparing two that have different measurements. So let's take a look at example 2 on the next page, or example 2 on page 344. Lightning strikes about 100 times per second around the world. About how many times does lightning strike per minute around the world? So lightning, 100 strikes per every 1 second. And we want to find out how much is it in minutes. Well, how many seconds are in a minute? It's going to be 60, correct? So we can't really change what this is, but we can multiply by 60 over 60 times 60 seconds per 1 minute, correct? That's multiplying by the same thing as 1 because there are 60 seconds. Let's move this. There are 60 seconds in 1 minute, so if we were to multiply it by all 60 of those seconds like this, second and second would cancel out. 100 times 60 would become 6,000 strikes per minute. And does that match up with the book? Yes, it does. Now, all right, let's go on to another vocab word real quick. I'm going to turn the page for just a second. All right, our vocab word is unit rate. We actually talked about this in geometry today as well. They're starting something called similarity, and they're doing some of the same stuff you are. So this will be important in a couple of years for you. Unit rate. A unit rate is any rate that has a denominator of 1 unit. Has a denominator of 1. So when we think about this, some unit rates that we usually think about are miles per hour. We don't ever say, I'm driving 30 miles per 2 hours. We always say, no, I'm driving 30 miles per 1 hour, or just 30 miles per hour. So unit rate is going to be something that we use a lot. Let's take a look at example 3 on page 344. Write negative 24 feet per 5 seconds as a unit rate. So negative 24 feet per every 5 seconds. Well, we've got to make this unit right here 1. So let's go ahead and just divide 24 by 5. So grab out your calculators at this point, and we're going to say turn down verse 24 divided by 5 equals 4.8. So remember that I had a negative 24, so this will be negative 4.8. 4.8 feet per second. And that is my unit rate because I'm talking about it in terms of only 1 second here. All right, let's. That about sums up the lesson for today. I apologize that my voice is gone. What I need y'all to do now is get started on your homework. Your homework is on page 345, and it is 3 through 39 multiples of 3. So that is 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, and so on, all the way up to 39. And I will try to come around and answer some questions, but like I said, my voice is gone. I might not be able to speak that well. I will talk to y'all in just a second. Goodbye.